Thank you for keeping me safe when I fell asleep last night. Thank you for fixing it up when I didn't do things right. Now I'm trotting on this road. I don't know where this will go, but Lord, I wanna follow you anywhere you say go.
U-Tech is in the house. Big shout out to U-Tech UCCF team. DJ Akila, man, sis. Love you, sis. Love you, sis.
Sometimes I feel confused, don't know if this is what you want. I as human went ahead and did some things that started.
Jermaine Edwards, I'll follow you.
Mess with my destiny. I cannot take no more longer. I don't wanna be here.
Big shout out to Henry. David Bradley. Love and blessing, sis. Harry Color just joined. Higher Colors in the house. Go check out her Fiverr website. Cool paintings. She's in animation. Natural daily. Xavier just joined. DJ Kevin.
I don't wanna be
Greetings, everybody joining in. Gardy B. Kira asking if it's a concert. Enjoying the vibe. DJ Kevin in the house. Zoe just joined. Zoe Shah. don't wanna join, just joined.
I as human went ahead and did some things that start try to mess with my destiny. I cannot take no more long journey. I don't wanna be like Moses. So
Welcome.
welcome, Randall Positive. Bad warrior. Kingston.
Big tune from Kevin Downswell and Randall Positive.
Jamaica. Kingston, Jamaica. Kingston, Jamaica. Well, I don't know about you. I'm not afraid. Say I'm not afraid. Hey. My shepherd.
Greetings. Deidre-Ann just joined.
Already walks beside me. On the way.
Kyla Morgan.
He's always protecting. I will not fear. God is there. He's always by my side. Well, I don't know about you. I'm not afraid. Why I? Well, if you see them coming, don't bother start running. For the one who watches over you is never sleeping. Who rule over all? I will stand the tallest. Already shout out Jehovah. That's why me a calling. Solid on a rock. Yes, I'm a back.
Deidre-Ann is in the house. Welcome. So, hey, Deidre-Ann.
Hi.
Yeah, it's a pleasure having you today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes. So, guys, welcome Deidre-Ann Thompson. She's a finance. She has a wealth of expertise in finance, blogging. She's a builder, motivational speaker, and she more importantly, she's a woman of God and a mother. Just like my mom just joined. Hey, mommy, a youth supporter. You know, so welcome again, Deidre-Ann. It's a pleasure. Thanks for taking the time, to tackle this issue. And yeah, I just want to give you the forum to, tell us more about you.
About myself?
Yeah. About you.
That's always a hard question.
Yeah.
And it's not even like coming from a place of fake humility or nothing. Like, it's just a question I just always find so difficult to answer.
Yeah.
But I try not to put myself in a box. As you said, I'm a mom. I have an 8-year-old daughter. She's a millionaire this year. I am in banking. Wouldn't even say I'm much of a banker, but I'm in banking.
Yeah.
Been in banking from 2008.
Yeah.
I do blogging. I model. I just recently start this whole heap of talking thing we got have me do.
Yeah.
What else? You read some of them? Thank you. I know some of them lengthy. Some of them are like mini books, but I can't help myself. Yeah, I love fashion. I do bridal modeling from time to time. What else? Yeah, I just really like sharing from experiences. I mean, sometimes we get the experiences I wanna like it, but it's always a place, for God to use those experiences, not necessarily for us, but for others. So I'm gonna really like it sometimes, but it's necessary.
True. That's how God do his work. Yeah, Deidre-Ann.
Sorry, my said I'm here to cock up and to bother me.
Why you saw it fit to many people shy away from a topic like this, a sensitive topic like this, especially on a public forum. People tend to shy away, and even just in small groups, people shy away from a topic like this. Why you saw it fit to step up and tackle this issue with us as young adults.
Yes, Sean. But I just realized that, my the way how my life is set up, I really am an open book.
Yeah,
I don't see where I need to be hiding much of anything. And the Bible said that we'll overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony.
yeah,
So if I find that, the more vulnerable I am, is the more people reach out to me and they share stuff with me that they're going through. Like, I'm gonna ask them nothing. People just come to me and they just share stuff.
yeah,
And so I'm really grateful that, God has kind of built me like this, to really just be that open and, just to be able to be in a position where I can share. So, I mean, a lot of times people might say to me, or people have said to me, then
mhm,
we just talk about business like that. But at
yeah,
the end of the day, it's not about me.
yeah,
And
yeah,
what we say is in wisdom, and if we use our experiences, because we don't even realize the impact that we make when we share. I'm
yeah,
not sure
yeah,
no
yeah,
word already. We don't realize the impact that we
yeah,
make when we share even a tidbit of our lives. But a lot of people are so close that them no want nobody know nothing about them, and them no want nobody look on them strange if they share a bit of
yeah,
their personal life. And so, you find that a lot of people around them don't get to experience a breakthrough because
mhm.
they keep their experiences to themselves. Man, I say for go out and just walk and just broadcast a thing like that. But if you
No
feel
man,
compelled, and if
yeah,
God say, "Oh, go and do this, whatever," then you go and do it, because you never know the impact that it might have. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's not about you, it's about the kingdom, and it's about the impact that you're going to make.
yeah, yeah. Wow, wow, really, that's really good. And we thank, as we say, we thank you again, because a lot of people tend to shy away from this issue.
Mm-hmm.
Adults themselves, adult Christians, tend to shy away from this topic. You get me? And we just salute you and we thank you so much, for joining with us. Um, many non-believers, or even budding believers themselves, might be asking, they might be looking on, joining the live, and they might be asking, now they see the flyer and they might asking, why is it an issue for Christians, or me? Why is that issue for people at the age of consent, or at an age where they can do whatever they want? Why is it an issue for people? Why pornography is an issue? Why it's so wrong? And we are young adults where we can do what we want, and it's not like it's sex in itself. What would you say to a non-believer like that?
To a
Who,
non-believer.
yeah, a non-believer, or just a person of that perspective who says, it. What's the issue? What's the issue? They're at the age where they can do what they want. No, they're not at a young age where their mind is, you know, um, I would say, where their mind is fragile. They're at a good age. And they see, they might be looking at it and they see it's strange. Why is it an issue? Why pornography is an issue amongst young adults? You know,
I mean, we live in such a sex crazed world.
yeah,
You can't hide from it. It's in the
mhm,
cartoons, it's everywhere.
yeah,
And you find that a lot of times people end up in situations just by chance, or just by a lot of people who I have heard,
yeah,
or who have spoken to me about their addictions and stuff with pornography.
mhm,
Sometimes them just stumble upon it. It might be a case
mhm,
where them just find a magazine or so in a them house, or
mhm,
the like when blues, I don't know if you know, but
yeah,
like when blue movie also used to come on, but I don't know if it still come on.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
blue movie and whatever would have come on and think on the TV, and then you get fascinated, because you
yeah,
want to see how a thing work and whatever. And so because of that, people get hooked. And addiction is a heck of a thing. It's so hard to break an
mm,
addiction when you
mhm,
start it. And so you find that even Christians themselves get addicted to pornography. They they find themselves in a position where they're unable to break free from it. And so you also find that those things can also um, it can hinder them in terms of their walk with God. I'm going to speak about the believer aspect versus the unbeliever
Yeah.
aspect,
Yeah.
hopefully, by the grace of God. But yeah, so for the believer, especially if it's somebody who is serving in ministry and whatever at their church, you'll find that they are going to be battling this addiction secretly. For persons who struggle with any type of sexual sin, it is going, and worse if you're not married,
Yeah.
it is going to be a struggle that you face, especially if you're in a place of leadership at your church or whatever the case is. You can't serve two masters, as the Bible says. And the sin is so strong. So the sin will pull you so far away from God. You
Yeah.
understand? Or it can pull you so far away from God. But what we have to remember is that God is always calling us back to Him. You know what I mean? So we shouldn't be in a position where we feel like we have sinned so much that we can't go back to God, that He really don't want to hear from us, that He's so ashamed of us. Yes, He's ashamed of us, or He's disappointed rather.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, He's still a loving Father who welcomes us back with open arms. Just like the prodigal son, right? So as real life said, sin is strong, but God is stronger. You know what I mean? But we really have to ensure that we have accountability partners and stuff around us.
Yeah.
Those people who we really trust, because at the end of the day, you can't say I go
Yeah.
trust. I mean, we would love to trust everybody, but we also have to discern who we can have in our corner to say, yo, I'm really struggling with this. Pray for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Help me help me to pray so that I can get over this. So that's from a believer's perspective. I think for the unbeliever, they probably aren't going to look on it that way, because for them just them just live them best life. They're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
them just a walk on, and they won't see the wrong in it. Unless God really convict them, they're really not going to see anything wrong with it until God really opens their eyes to what it is that they're viewing and the impact that it will have, because these things have like
Yeah.
lasting effects. Unless you go through some deliverance or something, they do have lasting effects. They have effects even when you get married. You understand? I mean, I'm not married, but me here. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's up to us, if we are struggling with any type of sexual sin, for deal with it from a single, because they will affect your marriage, they can affect your generation to come. And so, we really just have to ensure that we tackle it once we realize that we have an issue with a sexual sin, with an addiction, whatever. We just tackle it from now, that we're single, and we can get those persons who can help us. Once we find that confident, we'll just seek them out, seek them help.
Yeah. Well, and it's really, and I'm happy that it's we have the gender, we have two gender here, male and female, because in my perspective, I think most people see it as a male issue, and I
As a
realize,
male,
yeah, just a male issue.
mm-hmm.
No.
No, there are women who
Yeah.
struggle with it as well. I was listening to a live the
Mm-hmm.
other day. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you know Crystal Day. She had Deborah Mattis and another person on.
Yeah.
Females, as as Crystal was saying in the introduction, there are a lot of times you hear about males struggling with it, but you hardly hear about women struggling with it, and it's a real
Yeah.
thing. But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times you don't hear about it, and nobody not talk about it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand?
Sure.
Not a lot of persons are brave enough to discuss issues. Worse, when you have go through it, if
Yes.
you deliver from
Yes.
it, is a different
Yes.
thing. But when you still
Yeah.
a go through it and for talk about it, God have to really give you a spirit of boldness for really talk the things. You understand? Because, and then I
Yeah.
find that if you're going through something and you talk about it, it is so liberating. You understand? It's
Yes.
almost like you feel
Yeah.
like the chains are start to break off for you. But the
Yeah.
enemy wants us to be bound. The enemy wants us to shut up. Him know how to talk about what is what is keeping us trapped and what is keeping us bound in sin. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so there are Christian women who are going through them watch porn, them
Yeah.
masturbate, whatever, but you, and it's
Mm-hmm.
also like a stereotypical thing, like you just figure say a man mostly watch the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
understand? But
Yeah.
there are Christian women who them struggle with it as well. Maybe not as much. I mean, like I'm gonna do the stats, I'm gonna know. But
Yeah.
there are women, in the circle who do that kind of thing. But um, I guess because men, for the most part, are so visual, maybe that is
Mm-hmm.
why the addiction is so much deeper. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there are some women who can go through some dry spells. Them
Mm-hmm.
can go through and them not impacted by anything, but because men are so visual and they like the touch and the feel and the sight and the everything, maybe
Yeah.
maybe that is why the addiction is that much greater for them. But women struggle with it too. Like every sexual sin, women struggle with it just as men.
Assessment, true facts, and it's important for them not to be drawn or trapped by the stereotype of society, where society say, "Oh, this woman, this woman, this image of a woman," so they are so ashamed, they wallow in it. I think it's important for them to, speak to each other about it, seek help just the same, because the
Yeah,
devil strives in secrecy. He likes when things are
hmm,
isolated, you know.
that's
Yeah,
true.
I think that is true. Both genders struggle with it, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, during this time of corona, the quarantine,
Hmm.
many news articles released statistics showing that porn views have spiked, a historical spike in porn views in countries worldwide. One statistics also show that masturbation among young adults has increased drastically during this time of quarantine. And, most of the countries being shut down, because a lot of
Hmm.
persons have time on their hands and stuff like
That's
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you what's your thoughts and your advice, to persons,
Um,
at
like
home.
there's a
Hmm.
saying that an idle mind is a devil's playground,
Well,
and
that's
like, yeah, because once like this lockdown,
mhm.
just look at yourself like, like somebody in jail who is in solitary confinement,
Yeah.
like you really have nowhere to go, have nothing else to do. And so the
Yeah.
enemy, like the mind is so powerful. The
Yeah. Yeah.
mind is so powerful, and the enemy knows that. You
Hmm.
understand? And
Hmm.
so once him can just start play for your mind like, when last you have some sex? Come on, train of fall.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
turn on the TV,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you find yourself being compelled to just go and to just do,
Hmm.
and then because a lot of times, because our movement has been restricted in terms of where we can go and what we can do,
Hmm.
you find that. And I mean, a lot of persons, I don't watch TV, I don't even have a TV. All
Hmm.
right. But
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even need TV for be able to watch porn or anything. But what I'm saying is,
Hmm.
um and there is soft porn as well, because you might see a little thing and say, what another full thing,
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
thing here,
Yeah.
just a little thing there, I see the full body parts, but
Peace.
it's still
Right.
porn. At the end of the day, it's like, just a subtle thing where the enemy will try for get you hooked and so that you want to see more and more and whatever. You
Yeah.
understand? And so
Hmm.
you find that being in isolation, if you really don't have a lot of things to occupy your time, you can really get sucked in.
Yeah.
Worse if you're already addicted. And then even if you're not addicted, you might find, say, curiosity might get the best of you. You understand? As me say,
Yeah.
well, if already been falling.
Yeah.
You understand? You might start getting your feelings a little bit more.
Yeah.
You might want to cuddle up and a bag of things. And so, um, you find that maybe that is why the statistics are showing that the viewers or the they say the viewership or whatever on
Yeah. Yeah.
pornography
Fact.
has really increased
Mhm.
in this time, because people just don't know what to do themselves now. You
Mhm.
understand? And a lot
Mhm.
of people are already TV watchers, Netflix watchers, whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry. And because of that, you find, say, you start watch one thing here, so, and then at one episode done, you start watch another, or whatever. By the
Yeah.
time you look, 5 hours gone,
Yeah.
and
You're already born in it.
yeah,
Yeah.
just to think of how, just the media, even your phone, you look on social media, like the time goes so fast when you're on your
Yeah.
phone, or yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you
And
don't have the mental fortitude to say, oh, man, I'm going to do this, or man, I'm do that, and
yeah.
not to Satan. A lot of times we really don't have that, because sometimes we have weekdays. We really know, we have to admit that we have weekdays, and every day we're going to be strong and on fire for the Lord. You understand? Me
Mhm.
have my weekdays, them enough days. You know what I mean? And I have a child, so I've been exposed. You understand?
Mhm.
I'm not married, so I've been
Mhm.
exposed, and so it really takes a lot for me to say, I have to make sure that I keep my mind at a certain place. And and I mean, and all the time it works out, but
Yeah.
it really takes a lot for me to say, I want to make sure that I'm honoring God at the end of the day. You understand?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it rough in the streets, rough, bars.
Yeah. And I find that during this time too, because it's a pandemic, and people
Mm-hmm.
dealing with uncertainty. Some people, they get laid off their job.
Kevin, I'm
If
not
it's not
hearing you. You're
them,
frozen.
yeah, you can hear me better now.
You can repeat? Yeah.
You hear me better? Yeah, I find that during this time, because it's a pandemic going on, and a lot of people, they lose their jobs, or the person that they rely on for finance, that person lost their job, and they shut down their uncertainty, so they turn to
Mm-hmm.
pornography for, like, it's like a coping mechanism. Yeah, to,
Yeah.
to cope with uncertainty. It's like a drug, like a
Yeah.
opium, to kind of deal with what's going on, you know.
Yeah.
And I think most it Christ, you see, this person should find their joy and their hope, and their coping mechanism should be in Christ. Prayer, fasting, fellowshipping with Christ, and just pouring out to Him and seeking Him. And that's what the flesh does. The
Yeah.
flesh wants us to go, to other sources, idolatry, other sources
Yeah.
for our coping mechanism, which
Yeah.
is in
And
Christ. Yeah,
I mean, we have to remember that we are, like, God created us. So
yeah,
him knows we can have desires, and desires in and of itself are not wrong. It's when we
yeah,
act on the desires outside of marriage, that it becomes wrong.
yes,
You know,
yes,
and so, there are tactics and ploys and whatever of the enemy to keep us bound and trapped in a way where, where we can give fully of ourselves to God, you know.
yeah,
And
yeah,
we sin is so much more enticing, you know, to
yes.
be to be,
Appeal
to
to the
be
flesh.
honest, yeah. When you
Yeah, yeah,
appeal to the flesh, like, you
yeah,
feel good. But then
yes,
if you really are at a place where you have a strong relationship with God, like, the conviction is going to come,
yeah,
the conviction are
hmm,
gonna come, and then it's like, I don't know if you ever go through it where you get the conviction. I remember talk for myself.
yeah,
Might have sex, and as a
hmm,
Christian,
yeah,
and then you say, oh, say it wrong, and
yeah,
you
yeah,
really feel bad, and you say, oh God, I'm so sorry, I'm not do this again.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You get a little dry spell, and you feel good. You're soaking of the word, and you
yeah,
worship and whatever. And
yeah,
then after that is like, boom, somebody else come around with a soul tie or a something.
yeah,
You're getting your feelings or something. And then
yeah,
you're gone right back to square one, and it's almost like you'd feel like a failure. You'd feel like, you
no,
let God down, you
no,
know? Yeah,
yeah,
but what we have to remember that, our desires are from God, but He
yeah,
wants us to express those desires in a healthy way,
help you,
which
yeah,
is, the covenant of marriage between man
yeah,
and woman, right?
mhm,
And so,
yeah,
as a pride month, apparently, right? And so, we really have to ensure that, we don't we not start rebuke the desires when them
Yeah.
come. You understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I start buying them up. Because I mean, a lot of the super saints, start buying up, and we
Yeah.
rebuke
Yeah.
the spirit of the
Yeah.
lust,
Yeah.
and we rebuke. Well, I mean, yeah, rebuke the spirit of lust, but like it start rebuke the desires and whatever. But
Yeah.
you really have to ensure that rebuke the spirit, because at the end of the day, you're gonna need it for your spouse when you get married. You
True.
understand?
True. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you have rebuked it, then when you get married, they say, "Oh God, please help me to have the desire for my spouse," because you might find that because you've been rebuking that spirit, that desire and whatever, when you try shut down, the feelings
Mm-hmm.
and things at home, you find so when you get your husband or you get your wife, you don't have to do them.
True. True.
So
Man, gone.
yeah, because so you
Yeah.
really have to, just be intentional, just have just, and I mean it not easy, like it legit not easy, for for have the desires and want to act on them as a Christian,
Yeah.
and then say you don't have no outlet,
What are mhm.
it's hard.
What are some of the practical ways that a Christian can channel the desires in a healthy way, like channel these desires when they come up on them, a healthy way to channel them, especially during this time. What are some of the practical ways they can do it to channel or deal with the desires?
I'm gonna tell you from now, well, for me the
Yeah.
cold shower thing don't work. They Yeah, them something that don't work for me. The
Yeah.
walk around or whatever thing don't work.
Yeah.
Like I heard a friend express the other day that like trying to
Mhm.
suppress desires is like
Yeah.
trying to push a balloon underwater. It'll go come back up,
Mhm.
and so you
Mhm.
have to find a way for let out
Mhm.
desires, like you embrace the fact that you have these desires, and instead of asking God to suppress the desires, just say to him that God, I have these desires, you met me,
Yeah.
so you said they've been there, but for
Yeah.
right now have no way for let it out. So I'm just ask you for just one hold it until I get married so that it can be unleashed,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
to God, because I think sometimes we feel like we have to go to
Mhm.
God like in super Christianese terms, like we just need to
Mhm.
talk to God like on a level because He
Mhm.
understands, you know.
Yeah.
So we just need to be real and be honest with God, not try to be, because I think we get so ashamed when we
Mhm.
feel
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
feels, like when we start see a man and we say yo him at, or when we see a girl and we say yo girl body on point,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that is how God wired us, but as I
Mhm.
say, is when you act on the desire that it
Thought.
becomes wrong. Yeah,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you act on the thought and whatever. So in terms of practical things, like you got to God in prayer about it, and all the time. I'm not a minister, DJ Baba, but
Mhm.
it's not all the time we're gonna feel like so we want to go to God about it. In all honesty,
Mhm.
sometimes we're gonna feel that we just want to do it thing and let it out, and then when we feel like we're ready, we'll go to God, and God is okay with that as far as I'm concerned. He just wants to know that you have come to him at the end of the day. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
him no want the sin for enslave us and to trap us. He
Yeah.
wants us to
Yeah.
be liberated. And so prayer is essential. And me and go sound like super deep or whatever in terms of like pray and read the Bible and whatever, all of that Christian type stuff. But at the end of the day, it is going to work, like the Bible talk about, like Paul, I think, talk about the thorn in your side. The thorn in your side could be like you have a lust issue. You understand? You could have
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
pornography issue, a masturbation issue, whatever the case is. Like you find says like you think say you overcome it in a one season and then boom, it come back full force in another. You understand? But as it comes back, like you just have to keep on going to God about it, because you're gonna always stumble, you're gonna always fall. But just to know that God is always with us, and God is always looking out for us. No one will fair do a thing. But
Yeah.
he's so understanding, and he cares for us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. And
The
in terms
phone.
of like another tip,
The phone
just
is
to
kind
ensure
of
that we
breaking.
guard our heart, just to ensure that we guard our heart,
Mhm.
because
The phone is kind of breaking up.
mine, you hearing me
Yeah.
now?
The phone is kind of
A flow, man, a flow.
breaking.
you hear me now?
I can hear a little better, a little better,
All
little bit
right.
better.
So just in terms of
Yeah.
like another tip, and I mean this tip is like multifaceted. To ensure that we guard our hearts, the Bible saying Proverbs 4:23, I think, to
Yeah.
say guard your heart because everything else, everything flows from
This
it,
way.
you know.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
guarding your heart meaning say you guard your heart by ensuring that what
Yeah.
you're seeing is not something that is going to entice you, and that is not going to stimulate you, and that is not going to make you fall into the sin where you try to put yourself from.
Yeah.
So you might have watched something on Netflix, and then say your trigger is if you see a little grinding start. I'm sorry, I don't know if super saying step on this, I don't know what kind of terms I can use, but if you see a little thing start going, then you start feel the feels, and
Yeah.
so you have to
Yeah.
make sure that whatever it is that you are watching is
Mm-hmm.
not something that is going to get you there, because as I said, a mind are very powerful. So you might have see
Yeah.
a one scene, and the one
Mm-hmm.
scene stick with you, and after that you tune out everything else where you
Everything.
watch, and you go your bed and wake up the next morning, and it's
Yeah.
still the your mind, and because it's the your mind, you feel like you
Yeah.
need to act on it, and then because you need to act on it now, then you turn on back the TV and you start watch something else, and then the cycle continues. You understand?
Yeah. Because the
So
seed was planted.
right. So you have to
Yeah.
make sure you guard your eyes in terms of where you see and where you
Mm-hmm.
watch. Right?
Yeah.
You can't stop the woman them who walk half naked on the road. But at the end of the day, just make sure so when you watch or when you look, watch. Right?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
look, but you just keep it moving in the opposite direction. Because you
Yeah.
have to know your triggers, you have to know yourself, and you have to know what gets you to that place. You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You also have to guard the mind in terms of the things that you say, like what are your conversations like with your friends, if your friend them have some little lewd conversation and thing like that, then you have to make sure say you take for yourself and you realize that the conversation them are going in a certain direction where say
Same
you
direction.
can't. You understand? Because the conversations can stimulate your mind as well, because you say
Mm-hmm.
it and you envision it. You understand? And then is that the more you envision it, you say, oh, long time
Yeah.
I get some feel like
Yeah.
ready. You understand?
Yeah.
And so we have to make sure that the conversation, we have to make sure say the people who are around us not going to
Mm-hmm.
take us to that place. You understand? Because
True.
the conversation them you might say, but I'm a friend and look how long I have them. I can't just let them go like that. But yeah, but them are gonna
No.
keep you in a cycle where you don't want for them, especially if you
Yeah.
try for Christ.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's not like you
Mm-hmm.
have be like a super save, but
Yeah.
still you have to make sure say you guard yourself against the things that is gonna take you back to a place and keep you in stagnation. You
Yeah.
understand? And
Yeah.
you also have to guard your heart against the things that you do, like the places that you go. You have to be so intentional, if you want to make sure say stay in a constant state of sexual sin,
True.
because the place them where we can go, for you know get all riled up or whatever the case is, and we just have to make sure so we don't go there, and
Mm-hmm.
if we end up there, then we'll just kind of take ourselves. But we have to have the mental fortitude for just, for be our own self, and not to be swayed by our friends, because a friend will say, so where I go, but we have to
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
sure that we can leave, and also guard your sorry, guard your heart in terms of the things that you hear, like what kind of
Mm-hmm.
music you've been listening to, because we know
No.
how R&B music get you in your feelings.
And dancehall.
Dancehall. Oh my
Yeah.
God, like even get me started on that. You
Yeah,
understand?
man.
So we'll have to
Yeah.
make sure that as much as possible we guard our hearts against the things that we hear and whatever. If we're in a taxi, you can't help it. You understand? You're gonna
Mm-hmm.
hear it and
Yeah.
think. But if you are in
Yeah.
control of the type of music and stuff that you are listening to, then just make sure say you not have that on your playlist. You not have that
True.
in terms of your CDs and things like that, because it is going to plant seeds, and those seeds
Seeds.
grow over time. And the more you water it,
Mm.
or the more it will grow. You understand? And then you're going to end up start feed
Yes.
from where you grow. You understand? So
Yeah.
if we
Yeah.
want to grow in God, then we'll have to make sure say that seeds that we're planting are good seeds, because we're gonna reap our so too, yes.
Okay,
You
yes,
understand?
true.
Like we know the things that we know, but as I say, sin is so enticing.
Yeah,
Sin is always so enticing.
and
And so, and then,
yeah,
we always find it so hard to break away from the things that entice us, which is,
yeah.
is the truth.
And another thing too, I agree with you. Another thing too, we have to the thoughts, as I said, the design is in itself, it's natural, but it's when thoughts come to your mind is when you entertain the thoughts. Because sometimes a thought might come to your mind and you sit down there and just entertain and it
Mm-hmm.
daydream.
Yeah,
That's what it become wrong because it's like you're watering the seed. It's like
yeah.
you just feeding, fertilizing it, and then that's
Mm-hmm.
when you compelled to want to go out and do something afterwards, and and just take
Yeah.
over. So we have to be careful to as the thoughts that we entertain, that we dwell on.
Mm-hmm.
Or as the Bible says, we have to cast down the thoughts we subject to the authority of Christ. Cast them down. It's very true. And yeah,
Yeah.
another Adrian, many credible institutions, like for example the New York Health Department, and a lot of them, they're sending out they're sending out campaigns and issues and stuff like that. They're saying they're giving advice to people that for safest sex and a quote, our safest sex partner during this time is ourselves. So they're encouraging masturbation during this time. With the whole social distancing, so having sex remotely, they're encouraging this
Mm-hmm.
in this time. And it's on social media. It's been promoted on social media. Because a lot of these pages they have the leverage, they have the reach, they have the finance, to get these contents in front of people. You know, what is your thought on that, and what's your advice to especially young adults? When they are constantly being fed that, when they are saying when credible institutions are telling them that in during this time it's okay to master, it's okay to please yourself during this time.
Okay, Kevin, I come with a hard question them, but but I mean it's real questions though,
Yeah, yeah,
but
mhm,
I mean, a lot of persons stumble
yeah,
upon masturbation by, self-discovery and whatever,
yeah, yeah,
they might have beard or something and them say, "Wait, what is this
yeah,
feel
yeah,
good?"
yeah, yeah,
Whatever the case is, or
mhm,
for some women, they might have learned how to ride bicycle and then, not to get too graphic, but you're there and you say, but wait, it feel good when I lean to the left, when I lean to the right, when I lean to the middle,
yeah, yeah,
and so
yeah,
yeah, and that is how, them find say, okay, well, if it feels good like this, what's happened if I touch myself that way,
yeah, yeah,
and then as myself for the men, them wake up in the morning and then, them rise and them stretch and them, and
yeah,
it can start do a little groping and whatever, and
mhm,
you find that, through self-discovery, a lot of persons end up, turning to masturbation. And as you said in the thing a while ago, a lot of persons consider masturbation to be safe sex because
yeah,
have sex with a person, and a lot of Christians unfortunately think of it that way as well. But
mhm,
those things also keep you so bound in sin. Like masturbation is a sin, touching yourself in a, not even if more use word inappropriately, but
yeah,
because God designed any type of intentional sexual touch to be between a man and a woman in the
yeah,
covenant of marriage. When you touch yourself, you're going outside of the intent of God, which
yeah,
is,
yeah,
in my opinion,
mhm,
and so because of that, it makes what it is wrong, but also for us to just be cognizant of the fact that if we do it, God understand because He
mhm,
met the desire, and He know say you want to find a way for act on the desire, right?
yeah,
Um, and it- it's such a sensitive topic,
mhm,
because a lot of Christians are struggling with it, they 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 whether they're in a relationship
And
and them want for go there with the person, so them say, all right, let me just go and do my thing myself. But then when you do that, you find that when you get married,
mhm.
your partner might not be able to please you because you're so used to pleasing yourself, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And God not intend for it to be like that, right?
Mhm,
And
mhm.
so we have to make sure that in our single season we try as best as possible to do the things that honor God and to break free from the sexual sin or whatever that we're indulging in,
Yeah,
because we want to make sure say we reach the highest of heights when time we're married, right? And
yeah,
so
true.
we want to make sure that it is our partner who is pleasing us and not us who are pleasing ourselves, forget there, because you might find say, your partner try for pleasing in a certain way and them can't please you that way because them not do it like how you used to doing it yourself, and
Yeah,
you end up frustrated with them, right?
true, true,
And
true.
so, right, so as real life is saying here, some people feel like so them can please themselves, so them don't need a partner, and then because of that, there can be a
Mm,
decline in marriages and stuff like that. But
yeah,
and then with masturbation, a lot of times it comes with visualizing a
yeah,
person, doing
yeah.
doing the act to you, right? And so that is forming seeds of lust, that is forming all sorts of things where
Mhm.
you don't want to get bound, by. You
Yeah,
understand?
yeah,
Because it goes deeper than that. You invite all sorts of other things in your mind, in your bloodline, in everything. Like it goes deeper than just
yeah,
touching yourself,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Because no,
Yeah.
I was saying like some of the porn stars and some of the persons that people watch on these porn sites. Some of them are actually dead people. Some of them have died, but
Oh
you
my
know they
God,
just
really?
yeah, yeah, they just getting the clip. They just people just watching the clip. A lot of them are from sexual trafficking, human trafficking,
Mm-hmm.
and
Now, a lot of
people.
them are actors too, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. A lot of them are actors, but a lot of them have died already. But they, how the internet is. Some people are just getting the clip, or they don't know that the person has died a long time ago. So it's like, yeah, they are entertaining themselves to a dead person, and getting that
Wow,
in a
that is news to me. I never know all of that.
yeah, yeah. 'Cause a lot like so, like for example, some porn sites, some porns will be filmed from like 1990. But like a person in the 2020, they just woke up on it and they saw it. They didn't even know it was filmed in 1990, but the porn stars are died probably from drug overdose because a lot of them are depressed. A lot of them, the porn life as a career lead them to suicide or death, no, or drug overuse. So a lot of them have died already. So by the 2000s when someone else is watching it, they it's like you're masturbating to a dead person, and that's spiritual. You get me?
Mm.
And it releases a thing in the brain. This is thing it releases in the brain. Let me see. It called I think it's called oxytocin. They say
Mm.
a parent. They say it's the same thing that releases in the brain when a mom sees her child for the first time, like a mom who gives birth sees her child for the first time. It's a bonding chemical in the brain, and when a person masturbates, it's like you're bonding with that person on the screen. Porn releases that. Yeah, and sometimes the person has died, or the person is from human trafficking. You get me? Because some of
Wow.
these porn sites, yeah, some of these porn sites is easily accessible. Like anybody can sign up an account. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and and they put up some of these videos for with people, having sex and stuff like that. But some of them are forced, and so it's like it's like when a person do it, they yoke themselves to that spirit, that bondage, that dead person, and they have to be very careful. and it leads to abuse, to like abuse, so like anything you abuse, you're gonna misuse. So if a person, especially masturbates all the time, you know, to a certain thing, you know, it leads to diminishing return. So the pleasure decrease every time, and they have to do like a huge dosage of it to get
Mm.
back that pleasure. You know, and it's really sad, you know, because by the time they reach marriage or they want to settle down or a little later in life, you see that's why some people turn to some taboo type of pleasure. You know, some persons they like to see the chain and stuff, you know,
As the
they
regular
like,
thing of feel good because them done exposed to that already.
yeah, and them exhaust themselves so much
Yeah.
from that already. So them just want a different thing to spark them, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's deep, man. It's a thing that can destroy a person's life, and if they're not
Mm-hmm.
careful, if it's physical and the spiritual aspect of a person, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's a real thing though. Somebody, I think someone has a question, DJ Baba, and you know, it's we're gonna go to the section where we're gonna ask person, you know, the viewers they can chip in and ask a question. You could add, what if I'm not thinking of someone and do it?
It's
Like,
still it's still a sin. It's still a
yeah,
sin. You know, no
yeah,
matter which way you look on it, it's still a sin because you're not doing the touching of your genitals is not being done under the covenant of marriage, or the touching of your
yeah,
genitals in a way to give you pleasure is
yeah,
not being done in the covenant of marriage. So it's still wrong. But you just need for, I don't know, it's almost like just be at a place where you say, God, I really don't want to do this. I would rather do this with my spouse, but
hmm,
please forgive me or something.
yeah,
And I think when your heart is in the right place, then God is really understanding and really gracious towards you. Him not want you to be bound by that kind of thing, but when you when you find that you indulge in these sexual activities, whether by yourself or with somebody else, sorry,
hmm,
a lot of times delays the blessings that God has for you. So I don't know about you, but you are my blessing right now. Right. And
true,
so I want to make sure that whatever it might live a life that is pleasing to God, so that my blessing can forward real quick. Right. And so just have to make sure that when you if or when you do get to that place where you masturbate, you don't go into you don't
yeah,
isolate yourself from God, right? Because that is where the enemy wants you to be, because he
yeah,
knows that once you take away yourself from God, he can do so much more with you when you are by yourself than when you are surrounded by accountability partners, and when you are surrounded by people who can just pour into you and just offer grace to you and just offer love to you, and just offer that kind of understanding and support where you need. So
yeah,
if you have even a one confidant or somebody who's sounding out a word or whatever, who can just really help you, just you link them in. If you feel like you're gonna get to that place, you just call them up and you say, yo, I feel like I'm going to do this, please help me
yeah,
pray. you know
yeah,
Sometimes
yeah,
I might not even feel like doing it, in all honesty. Sometimes I might not even feel, sometimes I just want do your thing and just release, just pop off. But if you
yeah,
do act on the desire, you just know, say, God is just there waiting on you. I need some water. God is there waiting on you,
mhm,
with open arms, still ready to embrace it, but it's not something we want to fear do all the days of your life. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. True. Yeah, I think the live is gonna go out, but we want to continue the thing here section, the question and answer section.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna end it and just rejoin, so you don't go out on us while we talk.
All right, just remember to save it because I think the persons were asking that it be saved.
All right, I'm gonna see.
All right.
Mhm.